Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. And I rewatched this film for probably the fourth or maybe the fifth time. And as you can see from the title, it's 1992's classic legal military drama, or I should say military legal drama, A Few Good Men. Absolutely fantastic film, which um, I don't think you can ever get bored rewatching this film, even though I haven't watched it that many times. For a movie from 1992, which I really like, yeah, I haven't really watched it that many times, if it's only the fourth or fifth time. But yeah, I think since 2017, this is my second rewatching of the film. And it is a legal military drama based on Aaron Sorkin's 1989 play. The movie was written by Aaron Sorkin, of course, wonderful job that he does. Directed by Rob Reiner and produced by Reiner, David Brown, and Andrew Scheinman. Of course, it stars Tom Cruise in one of his best roles, Demi Moore in one of her best roles, Jack Nicholson in one of his best roles, of course. You also have Kevin Bacon, Kevin Pollak, J.T. Walsh, who unfortunately passed away a few years after that. And in small roles, Kiefer Sutherland and Cuba Gooding Jr. You also have minor roles by Matt Craven. Anybody else that I know of? Xander Berkeley as well, and Noah Wiley. So yeah, ensemble cast, fantastic. This thing, of course, as you probably may know the story, it is basically the court case about these two young soldiers who are also very close friends and who are charged with the murder of a young um, Marine who was trying to uh, look get out of Guantanamo Bay, serving in Guantanamo Bay, because he felt that the treatment was a little harsh, and he kind of wrote a few letters based on it, and of course, as a sort of punishment, they called it Code Red. He was beaten, and his mouth was stuffed with a cloth. What was he stuffed with? Was it a tie or something like that? I can't remember. Uh, Not really sure. So yeah, but yeah, so he died because of that, and it's basically the investigation into it. Initially, Tom Cruise's character, he plays. His character's name is Lieutenant Junior Grade Daniel Caffey. And I remember that when I was younger, when the first time I watched it, back in 1992 or 93, when I watched it, I thought he's like Coffee. Is his name Coffee? It's actually Caffey. He's part of the Jack Corps, and along with his second, basically Lieutenant Junior Grade Sam Weinberg, who's played by Kevin Pollak. And Demi Moore is the Lieutenant Commander Joan Calloway, who's also of the Jack Corps, but they are different units, so uh, he doesn't really report to her, although she kind of outranks him. Yeah, so fantastic film. The lead up to the investigation. Initially, he's a very, and Tom Cruise really does that well as playing this cocky Harvard grad who, has a very casual attitude, and seemingly like he's a lawyer who, because of his dad who used to be in the JAG, he got the opportunity. However, it is his abilities are not in question, just his attitude. But yes, fantastic legal movie. Also, Jack Nicholson. I mean, he plays the bad guy, the unlikable colonel, to a T. I mean, he is fantastic at doing these kind of roles. Um, you hate him from the very beginning, to be honest. There are some redeeming qualities about him, of course, but you definitely do hate the character. The theme of the movie, I guess, although I've not really read too much about this, but is the fact that there is this kind of arrogance regarding the American military, and I normally don't like watching, American glorification of American war films. That kind of stuff, I kind of stay away from. Them fighting for freedom in other countries, which is like an absolute BS. But I had this comment that I actually placed to the WhatsApp group of my cousins. Um, and this is I'm just going to read what I basically said. So if anybody's getting butthurt with this, I don't care. Um, so it's basically a look behind the God, GAWD. Of course, that's how a lot of Americans pronounce it. Given authority that the American military think that they have, and of course, this thing about them being God's chosen army, whatever, that kind of thing that those Christians, fundamentalists in America think. Um, that's the authority that they think they have, and how the colonels and generals of the United States military think that they're above the law. That's not the way that most other military, like especially Indian or any of the other function. And for me, it kind of like it's all about about Jesus, weapons, freedom, and the American way, is what I say. And exposing them, is that that they aren't actually above the law, is what this movie does. So it's the different way of thinking from the traditional uh, military look on things, that they can, that it's because of them that America has all their freedoms and they enjoy that because of the sacrifice of these soldiers. In a way, yes, but you're not defending your freedoms if you are fighting in other countries, and basically it's an excuse. Oil, money, rich. That's basically what they're doing. So that is why mainly I don't really watch American glorification movies, military film. Something that I stopped doing once I reached a particular age. That's why I haven't really watched a lot of American military movies. But this one is different. It's not a military movie per se. It is a legal movie, and it is an amazing one. So there are some critically acclaimed war films of the US, basically in Hollywood, but I choose not to watch them. I don't want to give my time to them. But even if it's a good movie, there's something about the glorification of the American military that pisses me off badly. Okay, and the other saying is, once a Marine, always a Marine. Is that something they make them write in the toilet with their own feces? Multiple times they make them write it all over. Because if you ask anybody, that's what they always say. It's indoctrination. So, they say you can't really understand. Well, fuck off. I don't really give a shit about your Marine life. Anyway, that's it. This movie is a classic. It's a great film. I give it an 8.5 out of 10. Wonderful acting by Tom Cruise, Jack Nicholson, Demi Moore. They're all fantastic. And the name of the guy who plays the judge. Who's the judge? He is fantastic too. J.A. Preston plays Judge Colonel Julius Alexander Randolph. He basically puts Colonel Jessup in his place. So yeah, fantastic film. Go watch it if you haven't watched it. Amazing film.